We are DroneEntry. Before I begin, I want to share with you that we are one platform, competent pilots, quality jobs. With this idea, I would like you to think a little bit ahead of what we're trying to achieve here. We've actually tried to market ourselves as a portfolio management tool for the drone pilots. As you can understand, that the industry right now is quite fascinating for drones that are flying everywhere. However, there are a lot of pilots that are getting their license that may not be good enough to track their competency level. And that's where this tool comes in to help them track their competency. The vision that we have is helping the drone pilots build their reputation, improve their competency level, get endorsed for their work, and of course monetize on that. And that's the incentivization aspect. The addressable market here at 100% saturation is 127 billion, but we are actually trying to get a little small chunk of that. These are just a couple of industry stats that I wanted to share, and if you are from the drone industry, you are quite well aware of what's really going on. There are a million drone pilots in North America alone that are going to be commercialized. By DJI stats, they say there are close to 100,000 commercial pilots and over 1 million hobbyists. And DroneEntry is working towards bringing all of them together. The problem puzzle, of course, so there is a lack of global community. There are a lot of drone pilots across the world. However, there's no set global standard for a pilot's competency tracking system. So what DroneEntry is trying to do is trying to solve that with bringing the global community together. However, keeping the competency measurement tool pretty standard, working with the specific industry organizations across the globe. Education and awareness has to be one of the most key component aspect where one of the pilots, when they're not aware of something, it's very easy to be ignored. And that's what we're trying to do with this, is be a go-to tool for the pilots to measure their competency level, or even just to begin their, I guess, a career in a drone industry. And again, skill and competency measuring tool doesn't exist, and that's what we're trying to implement. Platform as a tool. Now, we're not trying to be a software for the pilots by saying we're a software that you guys have to use, but rather a platform, and that's what the strategy is, to strategize by marketing yourself as a platform. A social platform or just a normal platform, whatever it may be, we're just presenting ourselves as a platform, as a tool that can be used by all the drone pilots. Our solution? Now, I know we may actually say that the pilot may be unknown because he's not part of DroneEntry, but this is how we're looking at it as a solution, as what we're going to be giving to the pilot that is actually on board with us. Is he's more aware because we are going to be helping him educate himself. He's a lot more knowledgeable, more job opportunities because his competency is tracked. Tracked competency would help him perhaps even get endorsed for a lot of other high-skilled jobs. And he's a lot more trusted, and that's what we're opting for, is him to be the most trusted pilot across the nation or across his city. Our strategy, now this was for basically the investor pitch, so we basically present our strategy. We don't really present this to every other presentation, but the API integration is the most important part for us. And with the 2 API partners that we're trying to get along with, allows us to track their authentic data. So we're not just verbally actually saying that the pilots are going to be flying for specific hours, but actually using the API partners to authenticate the data. So that way there is a second level of verification process. And that's what gives us a competitive edge against all the other competition. So why our platform, I've already explained to you, we're going to be helping them in more detail of competency tracking, experience tracking, as well as different payloads, systems that they may be available for them to fly with. This is for the employer section where they are able to have a credible status, and they also get awarded for the authentic work they do. This is the industry ecosystem that we are looking at from 3 stakeholders that may actually benefit from a platform: government, other drone job portals, as well as the software that we're going to be partnering with. Revenue streams, we are looking at 3 different revenues of streams from different stakeholders that will be using our tool as a solution, industry solution. This was the wrap-up stage when we did with BRINC that allowed us to come to this stage. Of course, strategic positioning and focus on the software cost.
Thank you.
Cool. Guys, also make sure to